Van Styles, a.k.a. Young Yogurt, a.k.a. Tash, a.k.a. Tash Gordon to the left of me. And we got Big Dookie behind the motherfucking boards. And not behind the boards today, and hopefully not here to bore any of us, is the Aberration, a.k.a. Hush, a.k.a. Hush Harding.
A.k.a. Hush Hefner, Playboy Hush, Justin Bieber, greatest rapper, turn your Mount Rushmore to Mount Hushmore.
Keep it on the hush.
Let's go.
All right, well, where do we start, right? Hush, do you want to ask yourself?
Well, I mean, Hush did send us over this whole...
I know.
Just in case you guys don't know how to...
Yeah, let's see. Okay.
All right.
Welcome, Hush Harding. Now, first thing I want us to do is to highlight your journey as a rapper, graphic designer, video director, and sound engineer.
All right, let's highlight it.
Fucking no. How about this?
Stop from the jump.
All right, don't fucking point at me, man. This is
You're the guest in this house today.
I was pointing at the
This isn't your house today. You're the guest.
So, Hush, where are you from?
I am born in Weymouth, Mass. Grew up in Quincy, Mass.
Okay.
Social Hospital.
Social your whole life?
Social my whole life, yeah.
Okay. Hip-hop. How old were you when you heard your first hip-hop record?
I would say when I first heard it, probably about 8 or 9. My cousin, rest in peace, my cousin Mike, he put me on. I would say it had to have been like Tupac or Biggie, like something like around that time. I had, it's funny too, his name Mike Conley, I always thought he should have been the rappers, and this was the MC. But I was like, yo, so he put me on to like Tupac and Puffy, like Bad Boy shit in that era.
I gotta bring up Puffy.
So how old are you right now?
I'm 35.
35. So 8 years old, we're talking about...
Probably 9.
Mid-90s?
Yeah. Like, I'd say like 97 is when I like coherently could understand. You know what I'm saying?
You don't remember the first record that you actually like, that
I don't remember the very
out?
first record. It definitely had to have been like I feel like a Tupac or like a Bad Boy joint, like around that era.
What's the first record you can remember like getting?
The first CD I had, this is funny, is you know when Jinko jeans are out? We used to have the baggy jeans, and we used to just go Star Market for some reason had CDs, so we would just go in there and boost mad CDs. So the first CD
Star Market in Quincy.
Yeah. I'm talking like 8 CDs at a time, a couple times a day. Like
the kangaroo pockets.
That was the move. But one of the first CDs I had.
Said 8 CDs a couple times a day. That's like fucking Columbia House. Except you don't have to like actually wait for the mail to come. You can just keep going in, get your Columbia House, 8 CDs for the price of a penny.
I had I don't even know if I want.
So you were. It
was a Puffy in the Family, bro.
Puff Daddy in the Family.
It was a good album,
which is kind of funny. So I mean, we'll get into like your hip hop and everything like that, but you're big on lyrics.
Yeah.
You've been like a lyricist guy, you've been a battle rapper, all that other shit. And it's kind of funny that your introduction to hip hop was Puffy, a guy who doesn't even write his own shit.
Biggie, Mace, like all that. It wasn't like just Puff. I mean, the CD was Puffy, but it was like that, and also like around the time Tupac's greatest hits came out, I remember having a double disc. So Tupac, I had to learn backwards. It was like I first heard his greatest hits.
That's crazy to me.
That's sad.
Like,
and then it went backwards.
Because like,
I was like young.
Because his greatest hits aren't like his. They're like I guess his hits.
Now that album is fucking. There's some fire on it, but
yeah, but like. To learn Tupac that way is a weird.
No, it was.
It's a weird way because like it's like listening to Bob Marley's greatest hits. It's like it's not
because you're not listening the way it was intended to be heard.
You don't see
you're just hearing the aftermath.
You're seeing the backwards growth. Like it's kind of a little. But I mean, they had the joints like Trouble songs on there, like.
But that wasn't even that was a new song.
Well, no, that was with Biggie, right?
No, Trouble Song 96. No, it was on the Machiavelli fucking.
It's one of his
Machiavelli 2 was on when after he passed away, and then they put it on that. Yeah. But not even like that wasn't an actual greatest hit though.
No, but that definitely was not a greatest hit.
Because that was a new song. There was two new songs that came out. That was one of them.
Oh, they just added that. Right. That one stuck out to me because it was
Changes,
one of the darker ones.
Changes was a new song.
Changes was a hit for sure, though.
That was a new song, though. Yeah. That was never out before. And then there was like one he was talking about.
Oh, see, I wouldn't even know that.
There was one of the songs that was new. See, because that's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's crazy that like. This guy loves Tupac.
Tupac was a big influence on me. Like,
learned about him through the greatest hits.
To be honest,
that's the problem. He was born too late into hip hop. They're already making best of. There was no best ofs that could exist in '82 when God was born.
I was born in a good time. Like I missed some of the like ill creation shit, but like when I can't.
No, you came out of the hatch, and you're getting fed what the industry wants you to hear. The best of albums.
Man,
I'm just saying, like.
Well, all right. So the thing is, when I first heard rap too, it was like the only rappers I was exposed to, like you said, was like the flashy shit. I mean, Pac was like half and half. Like he had the message and shit, but it was like Biggie, Bad Boy, all that shit. So like at that point in time, I hadn't fully like wanted to become a rapper. Like me and my cousin, we had this website. Like we had like a vlog. I was like in 3rd grade. We had this website, Hip Hop 99, and it was like we.
So hold on, you're like in 3rd grade. Yeah. And you're creating a hip hop blog. Our blogs even out yet? Like our hip hop blogs even out yet?
I don't even know exactly what we did. Like I remember the.
Do you know about undergroundhiphop.com?
Nah, not yet. Angelfire.com was.
Do you know about what were the Boston ones? There was like Boston.
There's 617 something.
There was 617 Live, but there was also there was like Beantown message board or some shit.
I wasn't even like exposed to that shit. It was like me and my.
That's what I'm saying.
So you with computers, and he was kind of like the way I looked at it. Like he didn't even want to be a rapper. He was like a collector type motherfucker, but he always put me on.
But you were doing a hip hop blog. But not even knowing there were people like my age, I'm 10 years older than you, out there like that were doing like hip hop. Not that
if we
I
didn't
wasn't.
stop doing that, like I probably would have something sick. Like you know what I mean? Like how early we were on that, we should have stuck with.
When AWOL was out doing shit, there were like message boards in Boston. There was like Rep the Bean.
Oh yeah,
Rep the Bean was one of them.
Good.
There was 2 of them. Rep the Bean was one of them. There was another one, but they were like message boards and hip hop blogs, way before hip hop.
I mean, I was also doing like the internet diss track battles and shit because when I first got.
Hold on. You're going too far ahead. Right. So you're like you're like a little kid. Like it's some cannabis. Like cannabis is in like a fucking studio with a laptop. Everyone's going, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Because there's also a disconnect here that I want to kind of portray with you. The reason we have you in about Big Dookie Chain, the reason why we reached out to you to begin with, if anyone doesn't know watching this, is because Van ran the radio station for 88.9. I'm in my 40s. Van's in his 40s, and we wanted someone that was a little bit younger that had like a little bit like as a generational gap. He never had to go to an actual studio. I don't think you haven't been to an actual studio. Yeah. I'm saying when you started making music, you never had to do that because you had programs and shit were already out. There were already greatest hits albums from the greatest of the all time. They were already out. So you came into hip hop like in the middle of like its growth after it became rich. Wasn't wealthy yet, but it was rich. You know what I'm saying? So we came in during that. So it's a whole different perspective of like someone who it's interesting to me that he's not even seeing the blogs. Because he's not old enough to be at the shows to know that these things exist, but he's creating his own at like in like 3rd grade.
It's a little wonder.
Yeah, but who the fuck else is doing that?
Right, not many.
Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to get to, and then we'll get to like what made you even want to do that.
Well, I don't even know if it was my cousin's idea or not, because we also were like we were just like big on the internet, like not like some crazy hacker shit, but like he ended up becoming like a professional gamer and shit like before he passed, and we was just like in like you said, forums and chat rooms where we would have like hookups. Like I remember he's like, I got the hookup for free hosting. Like we got our own, like back then, like getting the .com for free and shit. Like
which is like I don't even know how that works now.
And we was like, it was like HTML code and like
which I don't
before MySpace, and then everyone got MySpace, and then when you copy and paste like the codes, like I made my shit like.
So Hush, people that might not know who you are in any aspect, Hush also is someone who does like he does websites and he does graphics and he does video editing. Beats, web design, you fucking name it, he's kind of into doing it, whatever that may be, the package, the package.
Creation.
I made a few memes.
It's true. So that's just kind of, it's just interesting, like, your story through hip-hop and, like, the persistence is kind of, like, what I want to bring across for you to people, you know what I'm saying? So how, like, when you're a kid and you're doing blogs, and you're listening to, like, the Tupac greatest hits, like, at what point do you decide, like, you're going to be a rapper? Like, how old are you?
Probably like 10 or 11.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, so then I was writing, I wrote a few rhymes, like we had to do poems and stuff.
Like what's your first rap about when you're 10?
My first rap was like a fucking Easter poem.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, so like, yeah.
But then right after that, it was like, that was like the one that was like a poem. And then after that, it was like all like rap shit.
So what's the first time, like what's your first bars that you wrote? Like what's your first, what is 10-year-old Hush talking about?
I mean, all right, so like the first 3, like the Easter poem and then 2 other, like that's before I'm a rapper. It's like kind of school shit. But once I started, like my first.
What do you mean kind of school shit?
Like I couldn't be swearing in it, and like.
But what's the subject matter?
Just like simple ass words, like one syllable rhymes, like I want to hang with my homies, but my mom will let me run, like so I'm lonely. Like simply like shit like that. But that was like I said, those I don't even consider. Like the very first shit that I recorded, I actually had some ill shit. It was like. In your area, the sickest in the flyest in the area, like mosquitoes with malaria or some shit. Like,
So you're like 11 years old doing
some
that?
shit like that. Yeah.
Doing that?
My dad used to always laugh because like I remember he was like telling someone about it, like because he's like motherfuckers rapping devilish dentistry and just like the melodies. Like I don't even know. He probably never heard some shit like that.
So is your father's the one who introduced you to hip hop?
Nah. He was like into rock music and shit. He wasn't even like fully. He was like half supportive, then not supportive, and then once he saw me like actually getting some shit, he was like proud of it. You know what I'm saying? He passed away, but I was glad that I got him to see like some of it like come to fruition. You know
Okay, so you're back. So you're back, and you're 11 years old. You passed your first 3 raps.
Yeah.
You write your 4th rap, and your fourth time you write something, you're recording it.
Yeah.
So like the first, like you're like, so that's insane in itself too, because nobody does that.
I also like
Like that, you knew how to do that.
Yeah. So how I was on.
How'd you learn to do that?
All right. So I've been on computers like since I was like 6. Like before Windows was even a thing. Like I remember when I was first on a computer, it was like the MS-DOS shit. And my uncle, like if I wanted to play like this Mickey Mouse game, it was like the code was written on the paper and it was, like, it was open.
So that's it right there. Right there is the spot. Right there. We always say, when did it shift? Right there. When an 11-year-old.
No, I was like 7 on the computer.
When an 11-year-old doesn't have to get on the bus, get on the train, go to some fucking inner city neighborhood, pay $170 a fucking hour, know the engineer, know his rap, know the whole thing, and then have to actually live that as well. None of that has to exist. All he has to have is a computer program. He's an 11-year-old at home doing the exact same shit.
You were born on Easy Street, my friend.
So, but in hip hop, from that point on, not saying it's better or worse.
Yeah.
I'm just saying now it's accessible to people that are different than what hip hop was up to that point.
The thing was, I was actually way ahead of the game by then.
Yeah.
Because everything now, like you said, back in the day was like hand to hand. Mixed it. Like I was still part of that era, like pressing up CDs and shit.
Yeah,
but
you weren't allowed to even be in these spaces because you were too young.
Yeah,
like you could like. So Knox was like 17. We got X's on his hands. Had, like,
when I was 16, I was doing shows.
That's what I'm saying. But that's 16, not 11.
No, yeah, that was like after.
You get what I'm saying? So, so most people when they start spitting, they just rap. They don't even record. They don't know how to fucking record. None of that shit. Like you're saying from the get-go, you're like, okay, the first time I did this, I'm gonna record it.
Well, I had maybe like a couple just like talking shit with my friends, like shit before that, but like it was really early. I was recording myself very early on.
Like you weren't wasting any time about that. You were like, I mean, how many songs do you think you've recorded by this point in your life?
Probably around 1,000 or more.
What's the earliest one? Can we go back and listen to that song? Is that out still?
I could get to it, like the page is blocked, but I don't have my very first record. I have like my second or third. I have like this old ass.
So how long ago can we go back to listen to some Hush shit?
I could go back to when I was like 14 or 13. Like I have it.
So 21 years?
Yeah. And I have like
that's a long fucking time.
Yeah, man. Like I have every year there's at least, I'd say every year since then at least 50 tracks. Like and some years way more. Like my computer is like full. Like I have a vault of like create. The thing is that some of the shit is like I didn't have the money for the beats, so it's like I'm making all these songs. And I'm like, oh, when I put that out, I gotta go buy the beats, blah blah blah. So I have mad shit that is like still. The thing is too, now I have the sessions and I can mix them better. So like every now and then I might have like I drop songs sometimes they're 5 years old and I just act like they're new. You know what I'm saying? But like it depends on like
But it seems everyone does that.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Like
so
literally,
building the ball is like lit. The one thing though is like I feel like I need to organize my shit so someone else, like if I ever went to jail, God forbid, or like died or something, I'm like someone needs to know how to go through my hard drive and get this shit. You feel what I'm saying? Because it's like I gotta make that easy for people because I feel like it's like you have all these Pro Tools sessions, but a motherfucker don't know how to open Pro Tools and export it. Like so, it's like I do want to go back. I hate having unfinished shit.
You started saying that you started like battle rapping on the so you're battle rapping on the internet early age.
So first I was out battle rapping with my friends. Like
what's your first rap name?
It was Hush. First rap.
That was your first was Hush?
How I got Hush though, I'm not gonna lie, was like once Eminem came out, like after hearing like Tupac and stuff, Eminem came out and I was like, two things happened. One, I was like, oh wow, white dude is like ripping shit. And then also I was like, lyrical rap is a thing. Like you don't have, because before that, I thought you just had to be like a gangster to rap. Like it was like you can't rap unless you're doing gangster shit. Like every rapper who's famous is gangster.
I just like I just said, that was the
yeah. So once
he is like the fucking start of
you
it.
were there.
Yeah. So once I had Eminem, then I started like looking into lyrical shit, and that like it led me to all the underground legends and battle rapping and shit. I was battle rapping on websites like doing diss tracks to each other, like tournaments and shit. But like there's like some legendary people that were on these sites, you know what I mean? Like rapmusic.com, some other shit like that. I don't even know. I did a bunch of those battles, like, and that around that time after I did the internet battles, like probably a year or two, that's when I started getting into because I was doing those battles when I was like 14, 15. And then it was like at 16 is when I was actually doing shows and battling in 21 plus clubs and shit.
So, what are we at the point in your story yet where you are basically interviewing him, not even realizing that it's him you're interviewing?
Oh wait, hold on. I fucking chilled off on that question. A reason I was mentioning Eminem too is because his name was Eminem Marshall Mathers, so my initials are SH. So that's where I got Hush from.
Okay, all right, but I know that you also had a different name.
Well, I switched my name because there was this dude Hush from Detroit. He like has tracks and shit with Eminem from way back in the day. So he comes out on this TV show, The Contender, and he's got a song with Talib Kweli and a song with Eminem. And I'm like, oh, this dude has Hush, like he's been established. So then I switched my shit to Rage 617, and that was just because I was like, yo, I need a 4-letter word that looked ill. And at that time, I was like rapping, battling, mad angry. But then it fucked up my shit because then when I would meet people, like I would have different types of people. Like some people would call me Sean, some people would call me Hush, some people would call me Rage. And it's like I'm like the people who called me Hush knew me the most, really. So then it was like, but what stopped the Rage shit is eventually I started making money off YouTube on my Rage page. And it was like back in the day where like, I don't know, you weren't supposed to tell people or some shit. So like I made a post, I was like, oh, I'm making money on YouTube now. And then like, I don't know why, or like someone must have just clicked my ads mad times thinking they're like helping me out. And I got my monetization demonetized. I had like 600,000 views on that channel. And then I was like, well, fuck it. Everyone calls me Hush. I want to be Hush still. And then at that time I had heard like Drake has an OVO Hush. There's mad Hushes. So then I'm just like, all right, let me add my last name, Hush Harding. It got the flow like Jeff is Jeff, Dirk Diggler, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Mac Miller, the alliteration shit. So it's like and also I was like, at this point, like I said, I'm internet savvy. So like I had, you want to have your shit, if you search your rap name, you want to be the first thing that pops up. You get what I'm saying? So like, I was like, if I add my last name, my shit's easy to find.
It's like you're thinking about a lot of shit that no one's thinking about at that time. That's also.
No, I agree. Yeah.
At what point in time? So a funny story of the Big Dookie Chain, because the Big Dookie Chain has the Hush Onion, because as Van didn't, when we started this, Van had no idea who Hush was, even though you maybe did, but you didn't. And almost every guest that's come in here has like a story that he's like a personal story of like, I think you and Pat G like were battling, blah, 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 all this other shit. Like it goes on and on and on and on. But one of the funniest parts of that,
it's like the degrees of Kevin Bacon, but the degrees of Hush Harding.
So tell the story about how you discovered because it's probably at that point in the story now he was a 14, 15-year-old kid rapping at clubs. Right. So you used to run a website called undergroundhiphop.com, which was a huge website. This is before YouTube was around. This is before at one point in time it was the biggest like hip hop website in the world. Like it was huge. Like you guys sold so many fucking records from that site.
All the underground legends always were trying to get this shit.
It was huge.
Yeah, I didn't know that I knew Hush until I was going back through our underground hip hop videos looking for a video, and then I see a young 15-year-old Hush. I'm like, that's Hush? And then I came in here and I was like, Hush. And I had you look at. Did you
that
look
was
at yourself?
A black poet show at the Middle East. Right?
Okay, yeah.
So just so people get it right.
You were rapping outside the Middle East and you were rapping for
Harper's Ferry.
Oh, Harper's Ferry.
Let's just get this right too, so people understand what he's talking about. So you have archives and archives of footage from all the time you take.
No, but this is just live on YouTube.
I know. I was going to say, and this is on. This one's actually on. This one's actually on the internet. Yeah. At this point in time, you've already. We're on show number 25 at this point in time. You know this guy, and you don't realize as we're going longer and longer, you're realizing that he actually has some history to him. There's more to this guy than just this.
And not only were you
And then he was
in the interview, but you were the cover that I created for the interview.
Oh,
so he's watching the video.
Yeah, you were the thumbnail. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get to. Is like now, like you later on, you're realizing like, oh, I've already met you. You were like a little kid that was like rapping outside of the fucking thing, and you made him the actual thumbnail picture of the fucking video.
It goes full circle.
And you're like, oh, he's
I
like
had met
right
you too at a time with Cannabis and Slain backstage at
That's because Van doesn't know anybody.
I don't think it was a Cannabis show. It was like a cage show of Cannabis. But Cannabis and Slain were backstage. You were backstage. You had the underground hip hop mic with like the square on it.
Yeah.
I remember that shit.
Fucking half of
That was
Van's
the
life.
first time I ever met you.
Half of Van's life is people being like, hey, what's up? And him going like, yeah, I remember you. And like, not. So he has no idea about that. You didn't even fucking remember you.
You should be, I think it would be a dope name to be Lil Thumbnail. Or Young Thumbnail. Just a thought. But yeah, ever since then, of course, now it's like, once you're shown the red car, you start seeing red cars everywhere. Now it's just like everyone I talk to somehow is related or knows Hush.
Yeah.
So that's why there's the Hush Onion.
The Matrix.
The Onion came to me when I was doing Buddhist meditation at a spot in Boston. And I was like telling them like, no, I'm still like, drinking and snorting coke. And they're like, well, you're just at a certain level. You're just at a certain layer in your onion. And I was like, oh, I like that. So it's like I'm just at a certain stage of my development. And then the second time I heard about the onion was when it came out of my mouth. I was like, another fucking layer of the Hush Onion. It's never ending, layer after layer after layer. It's so deep.
The onion is deep.
So complex.
So at this point in time, are you just like a kid that's like, obviously you're hungry to get in the scene, so your pitch was, okay, I'm just going to go stand outside of these clubs and just battle everyone that comes out that's a rapper?
Well, at that point, like, so my brother was like a skateboarder kind of, and he was like chilling with older kids who were like rapping and shit. And he's like saying some of my punchlines to them, like, oh, my brother's ill, he said this, da, da, da. So then I met a couple of them, and they kind of like got me. That's how I started like doing the lead shows and shit. It was like, motherfuckers, just older cats, like. Well, I was already, like, I was at this point, I was recording myself and a couple of my other friends. But I wasn't, like, a nice engineer yet, but it was, like, still raw. Like, it was good enough for what it was. No one else had that shit yet. And I knew what I was doing on the computer and shit to a point. So I'm recording tracks. I got mad tracks. I got mad bars. So then I'm meeting, like, a couple older kids, and they would get me on shows. And at this point, I had already battled online mad. And when I battled online, like, I was ripping people. And
what do you mean battling? Is this like back when you were just writing it up?
No, well, there was like when I was very young, I might have did that like a couple times, but then it was like I was doing audio diss tracks is what they would do.
Were they videos or just audio?
Just audio.
And what are they like? They're pitting you against another MC?
Yeah,
and
like, there's like tournaments and shit. I battled like I don't know if you know Sharon. He's like one of the most famous battle rappers in the world. Me and him battled when we were both whack.
I've seen you have some battles on.
Not really battled. It was like diss tracks. Like I don't even consider it a real battle, but it's just funny because now watching him, he's on Wild 'N Out. He's like known as the biggest battler in the world and shit. So like, shout out to Sharon.
Fucking, I know that you used to have like there was shit on YouTube. I don't know. You're not this far in the story yet, but there was definitely shit on YouTube. I don't want to like put it out there, but I remember you went down somewhere. It was you and Maroney versus someone. Those dudes got you. Like it was you went somewhere.
Oh,
they never got me. They got Maroney, and then by default, it was like, yo. But that not for nothing though. Lyrically, like
they said something about your ex's nose or something. He was like something like boom, and it was just like they had some shit.
Oh, you're talking about a different one. No, that one I know that connect. That was crazy.
You got to say what it is.
I don't know the name.
That was me, Maroney versus White Cheddar and James.
Yes.
Well, I'm cool with both of them now.
Yeah.
Now we all did our thing there. They were home team, but they was not gonna lie, they was nice with it.
They had some shit.
But that crazy thing about that night, so we're fucking driving to Connecticut. We go to this bar. We're sitting there for hours before this battle. I'm drunk as fuck. I'm on.
So you're over 21
I'm
at this point.
On bad pills. I'm on my like in that battle. I'm so fucked up, but like somehow still able to rip. After that battle, Maroney was going back. Like we're in Connecticut. He was going back to Mass with this other chick that we were in, and my boy Gravity, who lived in New York, was doing a show that night. And in New York, like they do shows at like 3 a.m. You know what I mean? So it's like that battle ended at like midnight or some shit. So I'm driving from Connecticut to New York. We get pulled over. I have like the best smelling weed ever. Like it's like I had a quarter of this weed. Like you couldn't hide it. Like the car just stunk. It was like so the cop pulls us over. He makes me stomp out this weed. It like hurt my. It's like before we got pulled over, I was like I have to give him the weed. Like there's no hiding this weed. just the whole car smells too good. Like, so I had to crush my bomb ass weed. He lets us go. We go to we get to my boy's show in New York.
Are you on like Molly and pills and shit talking to this cop crushing your weed?
Yeah.
Was it just like he was like roll down the window and you're like, here's the weed? Is that how?
It's amazing when like thank God they're so bad at their jobs. They're like these guys just on Molly and pills and all fucked up.
Well,
like,
I think the weed was like
right.
He might have saved me.
No, I get it. But this guy's such a bad police officer. He doesn't understand there's two like young kids that are fucking drunk as shit on pills on Molly.
I feel like
just get right back on the highway. I
feel like these cops don't want to catch young drunk drivers.
It's just wild though. Oh, you did. I don't want the cop arresting you. Don't get me wrong, but
I get
what a shitty job you're fucking. That's what a terrible fucking job.
It's crazier though. So we get to New York. My boy performs. Gravity. He's like one of the best rappers in the world. He got tracks and all that. Just like looking shit up. So he performs. I have some extra Molly and whatnot. So we're like.
Because the cop didn't find you Molly.
Yeah, because I gave him the weed, so we had Molly. I still had weed after this.
It's kind of funny.
But my bomb weed I had to crush. I still had not as bomb.
And he still had other weed.
Yeah.
So the cop
he should have arrested. We were waiting for hours.
Probably drinking in the car, the whole night, everything, the whole night. It's like found nothing.
Definitely. Also across state line.
That is.
It's happened to me a bunch of times, but anyways, yeah.
My boy performs. I'm like, all right, let's go to the car. I don't know whose idea it was, but go to the car. We're gonna finish off this Molly. Fuck it. We're in the car. I have like a little bit of Molly, a little bit of weed, some pills. This fucking female cop comes up and she was all gung ho. So my girl had the thing of Molly on her. So somehow she didn't manage to hide it, and she gets up and it's under her ass on the seat. So then obviously there was it. I'm like, all right. So I have to. Well, it was mine anyway, but I'm like, every drug in the car is mine. So I'm supposed to be spending the night at a hotel in Times Square. Instead, we both get arrested and we go to some jail that I don't even, we couldn't really see where the fuck we were going because we were in the back of this paddy wagon.
On Molly.
Yeah. So
tripping balls.
Yeah, it sucks. Then I get to the place that got me chained to a table.
Yeah, jail.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying there's one dude for mad hours.
Yeah, jail.
No, I know. I'm saying the story's crazy. So then when we get out in the morning to go to court. My bitch is she comes out, she's she's shackled.
Send him back to jail.
Yo,
seriously.
She's shackled to 6 other females. Alright, we'll change it up. But they're literally chained together, chain gang shit and all.
Like jail.
Yeah, but I'm saying there's this wild visual, and I'm just I should be in fucking hotel in Times Square right now. And then we get bail because we're out of state, and then so my friend that I hung out with, he's working at this point. We have to call his mother, who we've never met, to come pick us up at the courthouse to bring us back to his house. It was just the shittiest. And then I had to keep going. I'm not in here, but I had to keep going back and paying people to drive me back to New York to go to court, and it was just mad money wasted. Eventually, the 2 felonies, even though they were little amounts, they got dropped down. I took a plea deal, and it was a misdemeanor.
Yeah, there's court. They just want you to pay money.
Yeah, but I was yo, that's
you're describing court and jail.
Yeah,
I wasted so much money though. They could have just
court.
Yeah, but the fact that I had to drive back without a car, so I'm fuck it.
Yeah, they just want their money, homie.
Yeah, so I could have mailed that shit. So they had to go back.
Anytime you're gonna go to jail, there's gonna be cuffs and people are gonna be locked up together and all that shit. Happens in every jail. And anytime you go to court, they're gonna make you waste mad time and take your money.
Well, that was the one
that's
time
just the
that I
fucking
had
gist
to
of those things, man. Yeah, I can tell it's only been one time because that's a regular thing.
No, man, I have other scenarios where I've been one time, right around the street actually. So I'm around this age, I'm 22.
Okay.
Drunk driving girl. We got weed. We got alcohol. We come from a party. I have mushrooms. I have mushrooms in this tinfoil thing. This cop pulls us over. And I'm I have this little, again, with the weed saved me again. I have this little ass thing of weed.
See?
Open container.
Marijuana saves lives.
So the cop comes and I'm all right, I'm just going to give him this shake. Here's my beer.
He's a fiend.
Yeah. And here's my beer. Whatever.
Here's the beer.
Here's my beer.
Well, it's open containers. We're fucked.
Yeah.
So the cop, I don't know what this is a blessing from God. So I have mushrooms that I just got from his car.
We can't let Hush go down.
Right.
Bro. Bless him.
So he's lit, these mushrooms are rolled up in tinfoil and I threw them on the ground. And then literally he's fucking with us for mad long, goes back to the car, comes back, he picks up the tinfoil with the mushrooms and he's holding it for like 10 minutes and he puts it on the top of the car. He hasn't opened it yet. Goes back to his car, comes back and he's like, you guys are lucky, like I have to go, like something crazy's happened, we have to leave. So he leaves and then the mushrooms are just open. Like he never opened the tinfoil, he just held the mushrooms for that long.
That's crazy.
And then let us go, driving drunk.
This is like Jay-Z's 99 Problems
This
story
is
all over again.
this is how Vlad gets these like crazy stories.
Yeah.
Like, we're not even asking. He's just
I
like,
know.
"Oh, you want to know what else I did that was illegal?"
Well, no, I just
All right, yeah,
like,
fucking, you can tell us. Yeah, I'm with it, man.
But it sounds like this is how he acts in a lot of situations. Even with police, he's just offering everything up right at the jump.
Nah, bro.
This is how you talk with women? You give them the whole life story on the first date.
Hey, well, I'm saying,
Or bitches.
if you hit a little something, you know what I mean, you can get away with the.
Give them the hush
It's like the negotiate. This is in Mexico or some shit. It's like the negotiation room. He's just giving the cop a drug. He's like,
Well, I noticed it's like you come up like he thinks you're being honest. At first, but really you're being extra.
I mean, why would these fucking kids that are clearly?
I'm convinced that cops must forget what it was like to be like a teenager.
Yeah.
Where they would pull over every teen in every car after a certain time.
Granted, I don't roll like
all
that
be
no more. No more drunk driving. None of that crazy shit.
I'm willing to bet that we could have told the Hush was fucked up off not just alcohol, pills, and Molly from like 15 to 20 feet away. That's how fucked up he was that night.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Like there's no way in the world like you would have mistaken it.
Yeah, like that cop is not doing this thing. Like,
You know what I'm saying?
like thank God, but I feel what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's just crazy. Like nah, we're not just gonna let that go. Like fuck it. So did you win the battle?
Well, I don't know. Like it wasn't like a judge battle. I think I don't know. Like you said, they could have edged it a little bit.
Oh, I was talking about that one still. I forgot.
Well, that battle. I mean, I've never really been like ripped in a battle. Like
What's your favorite?
some people have edged me, but it's like I'm always spitting some
Pause.
shit. Pause. Yeah. That used to not be where.
I was thinking about it. I was like, did he just say that?
Yo,
Like, I don't even need to make a gay
I
joke.
can't believe Ben.
I know.
Like, what the fuck did you see?
Well,
Like,
I was
serve
like,
that
just
shit up
make
to me.
lingo
That was the shit.
These youngsters.
Yeah,
you
you got me down. You got me down. I did a lot of battles. Like I made it. A lot of the times, I would make it to the finals and get fucked over in the finals. Like doing those freestyle battles where it's like you're battling 5 people, you get to the finals. A lot of the times though, it's like motherfuckers would come with pre-written sometimes, and it's like I be ripping them in, and then it's like they gotta fucking. You get to the finals, this dude comes with mad fucking pre-written punchlines and shit.
Yeah, but you guys got to the point where like you guys were going to like Facebook and shit, and like go back like months and like.
Well, that was different. Yeah, those type of battles, the acapella battles, like that the LG actually hosted my first one of those in Boston. It was like Grind Time Boston because the dude D-Rect who like made Grind Time was like a fan of my shit or something. So my first battle, I destroyed the dude. It was like LG was the host. It was in China Pearl in Chinatown. We only battled 40 bars there, I think. Like that battle is like viral still, some shit. But like those type of battles, all right. There's things I like about those. Is the only thing is like you can push lyrics so far in battles like that because it's like beats and it's really creative writing. But it's also there's rappers nowadays that do that type of battling that were never rappers before that. You know what I'm saying? So like they don't have. I like people who can rap on beats and have different flows. So like. That type of battling is strictly, to me, I look at it as like a performance. It's almost like stand-up comedy or like live, like giving a speech, like mixed with rhyming and like ill-ass lyrics. Where like regular rapping, people might not even understand. To write an ill punchline on the beat that sounds very simple, sometimes it's harder than making a super complicated shit because you made something good so compact that it, like a gift I had with punchlines is like making it easy to follow. Because if a rapper's job is to like speak to people and be good with words. So if you're like confusing me as a rapper, you're not doing your job. You know what I'm saying? Like you're supposed to be the voice for people who aren't well spoken or some shit. Like you're supposed to be the word master. So it's like if you're saying a bunch of shit, not that I'm like getting confused from rapping, but like some people overcomplicate the shit and think that they're good because of the like, oh, I'm using mad words. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, but are you using them good? How about you
using them
well?
Jesus!
Wait, how's that bad?
Using them good versus evil. Not
what about words?
It's using them well.
This is insane.
Oh my God.
All right.
So see right there, I fucked up. This dude would as well. We don't talk like that, all right?
It's Harding out here for a hush. Did you ever have any problem with Harding being your last name and the search engine thinking it's porn?
Hard on? No. No, Nah, well, I mean, Playboy Hush, like shit.
Playboy Hush.
Bitches, you know.
What's up?
That would be a future endeavor.
What's up with the Playboy thing?
Yeah, and do women actually? Do they dig the Playboy?
Yes, of course.
Really gonna say fucking no?
No. Do they like the fact that you're just like head to toe in Playboy?
Well, the Playboy shit started because one time I had this Playboy jacket, and I noticed that everywhere I went, old ladies, like they would always be like
MILFs.
Well, it was like a cheat code. They were like, well, one. All right, first
Cougars.
Before the Playboy Hush, I was a fan of Huston Bieber, Huston Timberlake, Husher Raymond, Hush Hefner. So I was always Hush Hefner. And then I got the jacket.
Who called you?
Yeah, I was about to say, who the fuck called you Hush Hefner?
Hey, man, Dr. Theodore Huxtable. There's a lot of Hush names out here. Like, it's just, that's how he was on it.
Theodore Huxtable. You might not want to use that one anymore.
A lot of good ones that I can't really use no more. Like that one, Tech Hushy 6'9", that had to go. There's a couple ones, Husher Raymond, like he's on the edge right now with the Diddy shit, like that's gotta go. These Hush names to drop, I need some new ones. You know what I mean? But where the fuck were we? Now I'm off track.
Yeah.
So when did you quit drugs?
Well, I didn't fully quit. Like we're talking about like heavy drug usage, probably like when I was like around like 29, 30. But then I was still getting wavy here and there. And then
wait, how old is this?
At this point though, like I was heavily smoking weed from like 12 till like last year, like 10 blunts a day type shit, forever. You know what I'm saying? So like. But there were some points where I was doing Molly, all that extra shit, and then it was like, then I was just smoking weed and drinking, which was like the past few years, and now I don't even smoke weed, and I drink here and there. I might get a little wavy once in a while, but I'm way more clear-headed. Like, I never realized people, sometimes, I have nothing against weed, but like, I spend so much time in like smoking mad weed, thinking like, I don't know, like weed can overtake someone without them realizing it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like people act like it's nothing, but like sometimes people's whole personality becomes just, oh, I need to smoke weed at all times. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So once I stopped smoking weed, it had been so long that I had not lived smoking mad weed that it was like, I like didn't even, once I stopped, I didn't even have the urge to smoke anymore. It was just like, I was like, all right, I get more shit done this way, because not that I'm against smoking, but I'm like, I'm right at this point in my life, like I'm trying to focus on building shit and making money. So I'm like, if weed is taking up time that I could be using to like create shit or make money, I can smoke weed later in life when I'm fucking sitting on an island rich. Then maybe I'll smoke a fat one to the face, like, you know what I mean? But I have nothing against weed or any, like, I don't look at it like that. It doesn't even bother me. Like, people could be smoking 10 blunts right next to me, like, it's cool. But
So I want to get back to the Playboy thing.
Right,
So you're Hush Hefner.
Well, that's just one of those nicknames I have.
I understand. So, but like, you wear an awful lot of Playboy clothes.
Well, now this would happen. I found out it was a cheat code, so I got the jacket, and my boy actually called me Playboy Hush. Like, I didn't actually say it. I was like, I just had the jacket, and then, but I noticed when I go to stores and shit, like old ladies and like buffaloes were like, oh, I like the jacket. It was like a conversation starter because their brand is so established that it always like just, I don't know, people always will be like, oh, Playboy. So I'm like, yo, this is like an attention thing. And then I also noticed I started doing more shows. So when I did the Playboy Hush shit, I leaned into it. I started making melodic shit like girl tracks and shit like that. Once I started doing that, the Playboy Hush thing would be like, if I go to a show, the DJ's like, yo, Playboy, blah, blah. It's like, I'm not, like, you know how there's like some rappers that they always like, oh, I'm the best rapper. They try and battle everything. Or like there's the street rappers like, I'm the toughest motherfucker, I'm kill everybody. Da, da, da. I feel like when I rolled up the shows, it's like Playboy Hush, it was like, I'm here to get money and get girls. Like, don't involve me with stupid street shit that doesn't involve me. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So like, the Playboy life, like, it's like me manifesting that, like living like, not necessarily just, oh, mad naked girls around me, but like carrying yourself, getting respected, building a brand.
Yeah, because I wanted to know about the part of the hip hop scene in Boston that had all these naked girls.
Well, I mean, I would throw house parties and have all naked girls. Shit.
Okay, Playboy. I'm not mad at that. Don't hate the game. Don't hate the player either. Shit.
Yeah, now when I came up too in Quint, like when I was recording myself a lot of the time, like it was like my dad was in that jail my mom was working a lot, so a lot of the time I had the free time to be throwing parties and rapping at my house. Like, my parents were there, but it was like we had so much free time every day because my mom's working until midnight. Like, go to school, like see her at 7 in the morning, don't see her till midnight.
Wait, your dad was in jail during most of this?
Like half my life, probably in and out of jail.
For what?
Different things like arson, drugs, like I don't even know, to be honest. But he was in there for a while. Like, I had to go visit him in jail a couple times and shit like that. I remember that being mad young, going like talking to him and shit. But it was like when he got out of jail, when he was like older, we had like a weird relationship. Like, we was always wicked tight, but he was like at a certain point where he's like, all right, like you can live how you want to live. Like, I ain't been around long enough to be like trying to boss you around. Like, at this point in life, he's like, you know what I mean? Like, do what you want to do. I respect what you're trying to do. You know what I mean? But I do remember, like, back in the day before that, there was times where he's like, oh, you think you're going to be a fucking rapper, blah, blah. Like, you get, because him and his dad were pipe fitters in the union and shit. And the thing about it, too, what he didn't understand, though, is I wasn't always just like, I'm going to be a rapper. I was like, I'm going to be a fucking computer genius. I forget where it's on the internet. Like, rap was one. It was either that. It was like computers and rap. Like, one of these is going to make me rich. So, as like I said, how I got kind of like ahead of the game early was because when I first came up, it was like, everything gangster was what you want to do in rap. So, like, I was getting caught up doing dumb shit, thinking, like, oh, I have to do this to be a rapper. But on the side, I was learning all this shit about computers and building brands and fucking, in, like, 7th grade, this Asian kid, he put me on to Photoshop. And, like, we were just sitting in the school library, and she's like, oh, you can get this shit cracked, blah, blah. So then I was like, all right.
So that's why you're good at Photoshop, because you've been doing it for, like, fucking 25 years.
And that led to so much because what I realized back then when I first started rapping, I used to think like one person, like I used to be like, oh, I'm just an ill lyricist, like that was my gift. But like before Kanye West was like making his own beats and being a rapper, like it wasn't common to be like multiple things. But once I learned Photoshop, because I was like, all right, I might as well learn how to make covers and flyers to save money, right? So then I started in high school too. I still did graphic design, but like I wasn't really learning shit from that class. It was more so from the internet. But like I made more money at a certain time. I was making mad album covers, flyers. Like I did covers for like ill people, like songs with KRS-One, Tragedy Gaddafi, like Ill Bill, fucking Craig G. Like mad people would always come to me for art, and then that also led me into getting a camera, like photos. I still didn't know shit about like filming, but it was like I just was diving in head first. Eventually, then people paid me to do videos. So at this point now, I'm getting paid to mix records. I'm getting paid to do graphics. I'm getting paid to do videos. All self-taught. Not like obviously like I had YouTube and shit. A motherfucker like Knox. When I met Knox, like we had both at this point in time. Mad people, like Knox had a name in his city, I had a name in my city. Everyone was like, oh, y'all need to link up, da-da-da. So when I finally met Knox, he like stepped my engineering game up like crazy. You get what I'm saying? Because he was a genius. He showed you how to do it. So after that was like, that took my mix into a whole nother level. So now I'm like, I was making beats before him, but then I learned mad shit from him. And we had like a period of time where he was staying at my crib for like 2-3 months or some shit. And it was like, that was like a turning point.
Which was the time when Justin Clancy started singing.
Yeah. When Justin Clancy came through then. Yeah, exactly. Full circle and shit. So
wait, what?
Justin Clancy had recorded with Knox in my crib.
Okay.
He spoke about it.
We talked about it on our show. How he never sang before.
Yeah.
And then he was at his house with Knox recording it. So he met him, and like that was the time they did TV dinner or something, right?
Yeah, the video was like something like that.
Van, that was the first time you mentioned the Onion.
Yeah.
Was it?
That was the first Onion.
Oh shit! It was the first time.
Yeah, because it was like, and that's how like Justin said he started singing. Like it was like I think either you or Knox had like suggested trying to sing on a song or something like that, and then he was one to tell the story.
Yeah,
he was like a rapper before that.
Yeah. Now he was good at rapping too, though. He had like some shit. You know what I mean? Him and actually Apollo Knox was there, which was actually Aldovino. Was Apollo Knox.
Yeah,
both recorded in my basement. But like, I didn't actually. I know Justin more than him, but he also like Aldovino, he'd be rocking with like ST-Nack and shit. Like,
yeah.
ST-Nack's another like dude I had met. Like doing shows, when I was doing these battles and shows early, like 16, 17, 18, that's where I met like people like Relentless, ST-Nack, Amadeus, like Slane. Slane was a little bit later, but like, you know what I'm saying? All the Boston like ill rappers and shit. My boy Sins, he passed away, but he was wicked fire. This dude Conundrum. they were like big influences on me. I mean, it was like weird because I feel like older rappers, they would like help mentor me, but then at the same time, I was like so sauced out with the computer and the new age shit. It was like I was also teaching them that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like I had that type of relationship with a lot of different artists. And the way I would look at it is like even if we spent like a small time, it was like I get different energies from different people. You know what I mean? So like when you collab with people or hang out with people, it's like you can absorb like. It's almost like absorbing powers from just like.
It's also the other way around too, because if you know how to do everything, everybody needs something.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, oh, I know how to do that. Like if you're like at the time lucky enough to at a young age to be in the presence or around like a legend or someone that's a key holder or someone like gatekeeper or something like that, and like blah 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 blah, you overhear a conversation, and he's like, well, I know how to do that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like so, it's like, oh, you know how to fucking
a lot of the shit. Actually,
oh, there you go.
The thing about that too is
you should
like you said, you realize that like it actually like I was looking at the rap game different. Once I started getting my infrastructure, I looked at it way different. Now, other rappers like they're like, yo, how do I get streams on my music, right? I was making money engineering, making graphics, making videos, so and hosting shows. So I'm getting mad rappers for these shows. Then I'm hosting ciphers. So I'm like, all right, where's my money come from? My money comes from me doing shit for rappers, like other shit, or not even just rappers, like models, like photographers, shit like that. It was like I was getting all these other jobs off branches of shit that I only learned because I wanted to be a rapper. But then it was like, I'm like, all right, if I make my shit fire, it's almost a commercial. Like I'm selling my services with my music to other artists.
Well, that's another reason how you ended up here, because like we needed someone that knew what the fuck they were doing, knew how to do it, that was into hip hop, like their hip hop aspect of it, all that shit, but also like the troubleshoot and do it, all of it, because it all worked exactly out, and we even needed the other camera.
Even so that shit too, yeah, like it was Destiny.
It was all like it worked.
Even that shit too, I was like, I never used it, but I could probably figure it out, like because it's like it's computer shit. We gonna figure it out, and then
you know what's crazy? Look how the camera's like crooked like that, but look at the leveling on it. Isn't that amazing?
What that is? Oh, is that the? Oh
yeah,
shit!
It's crazy,
that's
right?
crazy.
Crazy, right?
The GoPro, we see you out there. That is crazy.
Technology, man.
I know what you talking about. That was the auto.
Yeah, auto delivery.
I actually never. That's the first time I actually seen what the fuck you're talking about. Like now, I know what you're talking about when it does.
Yeah, it's auto horizontal lock.
That's crazy.
Fucking.
Yeah, if y'all alright, so if y'all didn't know, the people who look at it, if you this camera that looks fucking straight, it's like
sideways.
Yeah, on the tilt.
Fucking
sitting sideways.
Yeah, but like that's one of those things though. Like it makes you everlasting in the game or evergreen in the game because, like, it's also like what happens a lot that you get your break a lot by being around the right place at the right time and being useful to someone that needs a thing that's already done something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so it's like, oh, like, I do that, and it's like if you're there to hear that. That's another reason why we try to get you in these spaces.
No, a lot of opportunities.
Because you know how to do a lot of shit.
Because, getting in where you fit in, they say, you know what I'm saying? So, like, you said, like, a lot of the shit, too, like, some of the ciphers, like, I remember my other boy was doing ciphers, and they would get, like, big artists and shit. And all these rappers are paying hundreds of dollars for slots on the cipher. And, like you said, so the dude, I'm like, well, I can mix, I can shoot the video.
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting a slot on this cipher for free. Every other rapper is spending mad money. So that's how I got on the joint with Cassidy. Like we did a cypher with Cassidy, and it was like a bunch of rappers put up money. They paid for the feature. It was actually he did 4 ciphers, so it was like it's like 4 Cassidy verses got sent to me, and then there's like 6 other rappers from all over the place on each one. So I'm mixing mad shit. We did this a couple times. We did it with Daylight, like the battle rapper. He's kind of blowing up now too. He just dropped shit with J. Cole and shit.
He's a crazy motherfucker.
Yeah, if you know anything about battle rap, you know Daylight, but he's actually like cracking into Billboard a little bit now. He's like signed to TDE or some shit.
Okay.
But so
he's the guy who took a shit on the stage.
Yeah.
What?
Eminem shit. He actually owes me a feature. So because one time he had his status. Well, we have the cipher together.
So why not hit him up?
No, I did hit him up. It was
Want to have him come on the show?
He raised the price. Like it was like I was gonna get a feature for $100, but I had already done videos for him where people had paid him thousands of dollars for the feature. You know what I mean? So he had his status. He was like, one of my favorite artists blessed me with a feature verse, so I'm gonna do the same to the people who call on the shit. Anyone who sent $100 right now, lock in for a feature. And I'm like talking to my boy, I'm like, this is either a scam or I'm gonna get a Daylight feature for mad cheap. He actually did, like after the J. Cole shit, he still said he would do it, but he's like, you need to toss like another 200 or something. And I was like, I kind of just want to be like, bro, we locked in for 100. Like,
so why don't hit him up now? I want to have him come on the show.
I would love to have him on the show. He's in the West Coast. We did actually have a crazy, like I got to hang out with him for like a day or two because we did this cypher. So he did this cypher in Providence, and this other kid I know, Sando, actually, me and Sando did the video, and Smoke, it was the first video Smoke ever helped us on, was this dude like Crisis did a cypher, feature with Daylight at the same day he was doing a ground mode cypher. So we're in Providence, we shoot this video, we're chilling with Daylight at the mall and shit, like, and he's like telling me just about like crazy antics and like.
Do you know what Daylight is?
No, viral.
I only know the
Daylight
song by
has-
A$AP Rock.
Daylight has a face
It's a
tattoo,
Spawn mask. It's a Spawn
but
mask.
it's tattooed on his face.
Oh.
But he's actually
I know
not
Cassie.
So he was a battle rapper that took a
Cassie,
shit
I
on the
mentioned.
stage. Didn't he like jerk off on stage one time or something
We
too?
put his dick out on the girl. Like,
Yeah, like he did
you know,
like
he was like fucking a sex doll or some shit.
he
did wild
all
shit.
this crazy shit on stage like during like those battle raps where people are going like,
Yeah.
He's actually
I'll
like
kill
a
your
very
mother
good
and I'll
rapper.
bury your daughter and all that.
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, yeah.
Well,
He
the
like
thing is,
took a
he's
shit on the
actually
stage.
That's so
on
fucking
the
gross.
Eminem TV show. It was Eminem's Daddle shit.
Yeah.
Total Slaughter.
Yeah.
But the thing about him is
What the?
he's actually very good at battle rapping. So it's like
He just
if
shit on the
doesn't-
floor? I can't
Yeah,
get over the
If he
shit.
don't respect you, he might hit you with antics. Like one time, he wiped his balls and like slapped this dude in the face in the ground. Like he
What
did
the
some
fuck?
shit.
He's not a
actually
big
chill
guy
dude.
either. He's not like you wouldn't look at him. I don't know if I never met him in person, but you wouldn't think you'd get away with this shit. Let's put it that way. And he does.
Yeah,
So he was like mid-rapping, and then he pulled his pants down, squatted, and took a shit?
Yes.
Yo,
On
Daylight
TV.
don't
Yeah.
play.
On
The
TV.
thing about Daylight though is he's ill.
What the
Like
fuck?
so that day that I met him in
This dude's
Rhode
gonna
Island.
take a shit on your table. We can't have him on the
Nah, I
Big Dookie.
fucking
He's gonna
can't.
take the Big Dookie part of
Check
the
it out.
chain too seriously.
So I met him
I can't
in
believe you
Rhode
heard that.
Island. We had some crazy conversations about just like rapping and like the Spawn mask for him was like he's like, so I have to go all in. Like it's like you're a creative character, and he's like, if you don't create your character before you get in the game, you ain't gonna be in the game. So anyway,
You're just cutting off all other
a
opportunities.
few other days later, we're shooting. This is where the cypher where I mixed his vocals in New York. So it was like I met him in Rhode Island, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna see you again
There is
in
no
New York in a
vibe.
few days.
You get the spawn mask on his face.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So
this
he-
isn't as like crazy as Caskey's.
Well, it's
Cassie's
still pretty
Cassie's
fucking
is,
crazy.
Yes.
man.
that's on his face though. Caskey's is like on his skull. Like, but Caskey's wild now too. I opened up for Caskey and Snow the Product too. But back to the day.
Yeah.
We did this cypher in New York. He after he got like the wheels turned into my head in Rhode Island, talking about going viral.
Creepy.
So in New York, I asked him to do a skit with me. He did a quick skit with me. Like it was like where I was like I had him take my phone and run and act like he stole my phone and then post it. So you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that was the skit. And then he was in this music video I did, and he did a cypher with me and shit. Caskey though,
Mecca, we're not watching it. It says David.
yo,
Nation.
I opened up for Caskey when he was like first signed to Cash Money, and it was like I never heard of him.
Caskey is fucking
Yellow.
caveman's guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
He loves
give
that
me
kid.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now
give-
Caskey's fire as fuck, bro. But how I got put onto him low key was Millie's had a song with him, and at this point, like neither of them are super famous. Like I didn't even realize Caskey was signed to Cash Money. I just heard this song on Millie's like SoundCloud, and then a few months later, I was opening up for Snow the Product on one of the lead shows, and Caskey was the opener. But then he pulled up and he had like all this Cash Money shit. Like he was this white kid from Florida signed to Cash Money. He's like lyrically ill as fuck too, though. I like him.
Yeah, he's good.
He's one of the illest. Like, even when he was first signed to Cash Money, I like that era of him because like just the cockiness of being like, bitch, I'm on Cash Money. Like you could just hear that. But he's still fire. He's like more lyrical now. But it's like you said, he's like all tatted up, like spiritually. It's not as like. Sometimes I like when rap like there's certain shit in rap that could be like materialistic or like not necessarily the right message, but it's like if someone just is like flexing hard, sometimes it's still fire. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's all about. Yeah, I think hip hop. All of it is. It's all about how you're using the words too.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's like if someone could talk about some shit like it's how they saying it. You know what I'm saying? The word, like how they're saying
Did
it.
I
Like,
feel it? Are you catchy?
yeah, I know Caskey.
Yeah,
Have
yeah.
some
But he didn't always look like that.
like some people like the more experience they go through, sometimes you just hear it in their voice. Like they got more texture to this shit.
Well, that is like soul. Like
that's what I'm saying. It's
you
like
can feel like soul and shit in this. But some people just say some shit cool ways. Like Nas sometimes just says like 2 or 3 words together, like in a cool way. I can't think of one right off the top of my head.
Nowadays, like,
he just does it every now and then. Just say some cool, like it's just 3 words in a row that just sound cool. Like, well, cooler than a polar bear's toenails. Like polar bear's toenails,
just like
sounds
crazy
cool. Like
shit.
Yeah, it's like it's.
I always like that part of rap too.
Yeah.
Is the thing too is sometimes like you want to write some like crazy like because when I write bars I be thinking like this like I'm trying to write some crazy shit that could like fuck with a Shakespeare quote type shit. But then
so let's actually get into some of your shit like this. So let's talk about this because you're interesting in a way that. Like, so as I knew you, I met you originally. You were like a young kid that like you spit bars. Like you were a fucking blah, 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 blah. Like, you used Eminem style. Not that you were Eminem, but like you could tell you came from that cloth. And like you were like that next generation of rapping kids that were like rapping kids that like only like the super wordsmiths of like our generation were doing the shit that these kids like just grew up off of because like Eminem had already been like he's already took that and cannabis had already took that shit to the level. You know what I mean?
No, that's like I was like that's why I feel like the ceiling that where the ceiling was when I came in was like art like so I'm art. I got to be super lyrical off rip like it came to me naturally.
Well, and then it got all the way to fucking like Rap God and it's like all right we can't even like.
Well, then I also what it brainwashed me from was I was so caught up in like that shit that I didn't spend as much time like trying to sing and be melodic and be simplified.
I want to get to this, so that's what I want to get to because at some point, like, so like with you not hearing his music and stuff like that, like I'm always like, okay, excuse me, Hush is like you have some music that I don't fuck with. Let's put it that way. And like lately, a lot of the music you've come up with has been more of like that kind of shit. Not that I don't fuck with it, just like not my style, like hip hop rap style. But then you came up with like that Plain song, and like you're like, oh, he still fucking does this shit, but like you multi-syllable bars.
Bap and then it's modern.
But it's not even boom bap shit because that wasn't really boom bap, but it was like just the multi-syllable rapping verse of it, like.
Well, that Plain shit is boom bap, like that.
But you know what I'm saying though? It's like you can tell that the writing is way more intricate. It's
like
the writing is up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you're fucking like fitting. You're really good at puns as well too. And you're putting a lot of those in there and stuff.
And shit, like you said with the Nas, like few words sounding the same, alliteration. Shit.
But then you make a lot of songs like you with the beach and shit, and like fucking, it's like auto tuned out and which I can't like. No offense, I don't fuck with it. But like, what makes you like? Most people don't do all that shit. Like, what makes you even do like?
Well, the thing is like I'm also like a producer and an engineer, and like I said. Because you get brainwashed from hip hop sometimes. You can like sometimes I'm making a pop song, like and I'm all right. Skill, like,
but that's but that's what you're doing. Okay, so like, but that's dope in itself. That like, okay,
a lot of rappers are afraid
to do that shit. But you're okay, so that's what I'm trying to figure out too. Like, what makes you not scared from like, okay, computers trying to learn them is scary.
Yeah,
cameras try to learn them is scary. Like, trying to direct videos and produce music and learn how to, like, do all this shit is scary. Like, okay, then, like, to make hip-hop music and put it out is scary. Okay, then to be a rapper and be like, all right, like, I'm going to harmonize and make pop music.
Yeah.
Call like the most courageous dude that I've ever lived.
Well,
look at this.
Man
steps into fear.
But what makes you, like, want to, it is interesting, though. Like, what makes you kind of want to, like, do something like that? Because, like, most people, it's a death sentence.
Yeah.
Be like, if you didn't hear... If you only heard his shit from like the past like year or two, you'd be like, you wouldn't get why people respect him in the hip hop game. You'd be like, I don't like NOG fucking like thinks this dude's a dope lyric. I don't why because the only albums you've ever heard of his was like when he's doing like that.
We might have to do a sit down where like I listen to like you play me from the early days.
Well, the thing about
you heard him rapping on the early.
There's new shit. Like the thing about it is, I always come from lyrics. So like the thing is. When I'm making those new age songs, right, my goal is this. It's like, at face value, if you just hear this, the melody, like you said, how they say it, like the melody is fire, the flow is fire. But then I'm just so into like lyrics and puns that I'm like, if you first hear it and don't even understand the double meanings, you're just gonna be like, this sounds cool.
Who's the most lyrical, current, popular sing-song rapper? Damn! Okay, look at this. This dude is like narcissist looking at his reflection.
Not a lot of people do that type of. It's mixing two styles. Like it's mixing modern melodic.
Okay. Second to you, Hush.
No, I'm just kidding. There is other. Another one, my boy that passed away, Fat Bible, he's crazy with it. Like, the thing is, in the game, like, I don't know, there's certain people that have their moments of that shit. Like, well, Kevin Gates, like, he's like, an influence on that style, for example, is like Tory Lanez, Kevin Gates, Juice WRLD, right?
Okay.
So Juice WRLD is like probably the least lyrical of the three, but he has this gift where it's like he can just make a song catchy as fuck. No matter what he says, it sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
And he just like, he also unlocked like taking like emo melodies.
Even Eminem like loved his shit.
Yeah, because he could freestyle. He could make a song so quickly, and he would take. What I liked about him was like he liked old emo music, right? And it's like he took his interest and then just rapified it. And like that was one thing I always did was like any beat that I hear or a movie that I watch, if there's an ill sample, I'm like, oh, I can flip that. Or like I do a lot of like I do like concepts where I'm flipping video games or movies and making animated shit. Like made a video of The Simpsons. I grew up loving The Simpsons. Like the thing, like
Have you seen that video of him as The Simpsons?
No.
I gotta show you that. I animated that myself too. Like that's what you're talking about. Like I don't even know, bro. Like how you said, like why do I just do shit? Like I had like since I was young, I just like was like I'm gonna be a rapper. I'm gonna be the illest rapper. So it's like every fucking move I do in life is literally just like this voice in my head, like what is gonna push you further as to reach this. You know what I'm saying?
Why?
Not in an unhealthy way, but like it's just like it feels natural for me to be like, oh, nothing's gonna stop me from being the illest. Like it's like I'm going to like. I didn't ever want to be like a videographer, computer dude. It's like I just was like, how can I not have to rely on someone else? Because if you want something done right, you gotta do it yourself. So it's like doing that over and over again. But the thing is, then I learned to help people too, because then like along the way, you might meet an ill ass rapper who doesn't have a studio or doesn't record. So then like I almost was like, like you said, like I'm in this position where I can help. Like this person needs this, and I'm the only one who can do it. So it's like I'm put here to do that. So like I feel like I help a lot of people. And sometimes like you can get annoyed, like, oh, I gotta fucking do this for them and this. But then it's like you gotta remember, like anything you do for someone else is like one, it's still practice, and it's still you still did that. Like it's like not everything. You don't need to be the star of everything you make. And I'm like I'm helping people, plus their entity's helping me. That if they're paying me to record, like they're funding my studio upgrades. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I feel like another goal in life I had is basically just like how many people can I make better? Because it's like if you come around me, like I'm a photographer, I'm an engineer. If you come around me, I'm gonna teach you how to use your voice. Like I'm gonna help you write a song, make you sound the best you ever had sound. I take your pictures, I fucking edit them up, make you look ill.
For what it's worth, I mean, sitting right here, he's helped us.
Yeah,
a huge amount. Like,
yeah,
I mean, everywhere. Right now, we have like 3 cameras. We're going live in like 6 places. You know what I'm saying? We just like built our web store out. We're about to do our Spotify and shit. Like he's a big part of helping us with all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Which is making this platform bigger, which is now giving you a bigger platform. Because you're about to spit your 16 bars and this is all over and shit. And like, and vice versa. That's exactly it though. I mean,
we just help each other up, and like you winning is not me losing. Like I seen you say that the other day.
It's always like,
and that's so true though. People don't realize that sometimes. They don't think that right. They're in this competition that doesn't exist. It's like
Deadeye said the other day, he was like I don't have to be, like you said at the start of the show, he was like, if my part of the art is only 10% of it, like I'm okay with that. Like this being me only having 10% of the input of this one. I do 80% on this one and 10% on that one and 20% on that, but like it's dope. It's a dope fucking concept.
The thing too is
hold up.
It's still going though. It just has the line.
Yeah, but we got the in the how come in the corner we have the 3.
It's about
to die. All right, so put it on hush.
Yeah, switch it.
Then on hush.
Let me just
keep talking, man. I'll keep doing the thing.
Yeah, we could. All right, so we still on this. So what are we? All right, yeah. So we was talking about what was the last thing you just said, Tash? Working on like helping people. Yeah, it's like helping people up their levels, and it's like the thing is if you're making someone the best version of themselves, naturally they're gonna want to like help you if they get an opportunity where like being in the right moment, they're like, oh, Hush helped me do this shit, make my album cover. So now they're in a situation where they're with some other person who needs pictures or albums. Like, well, he helped me, I could get him this opportunity. So once I realized the more people, because I used to sometimes would be bitter and think like the opposite, like, oh, I need to focus on my own shit because I'm spending too much time doing other people's shit. Like, I wish I had more money doing this, But then when I got older and wiser, I was like, it's actually the opposite. Like, I'm actually blessed to be the person that can make this person be the best version of themselves. I get paid to make people the best version of themselves, and it's like literally I've had a kid record me, and then like record his hook or whatever, and like his parents like heard the shit like, yo, that's you. They didn't even know it's you. Like teaching people to like use their voice, teaching people how to count bars, how to rap. Like it's just been doing so many reps in every aspect of it, like the internet shit, the video shit, like photography. It's like literally I feel like at this point, it's like I basically am a record label. Like I could see, like literally, like it's like everything a record label does, I know how to do to a high degree. Granted, like if I had more funding and shit, I could bring it to another level. But it's like I always help putting rappers on shows, putting rappers on ciphers, doing photo shoots. Like every aspect of rap, I help people out. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's like that's a good feeling. And that's another thing too is like how you gonna blow up? Like you gotta make the people around you fuck with you before. Like you ain't gonna just blow up if you don't make people better. You know what I'm saying? Like. If you're dragging people down, you're gonna stay down. If you lifting everyone up around you, eventually you're gonna get to the top. Like,
is there like a time you can think of where you helped somebody out and then there was like quote quid pro quo? Well, they came back and it was like, okay, this just illustrate the point you're making.
Oh, well, like Maroney rapping, right? It was like one time he was doing battles. We were doing the battle shit together, like. Not that I like forced to rap, but it's like we started rapping pretty much together, and I was always like, nah, I'll record all your shit, like like we was like a duo in a way. So he was battling one night. He battled this dude, and he ripped this dude, and Slain is there, and Slain is like, who the fuck is that? Like Maroney bodied this kid.
Okay.
And he took Maroney to the studio right after that battle, and then after that, why this is big is because after that. So he's taking Maroney under his wing. They kind of look alike and shit. He's like, you fucking stole my face, blah, blah, blah. So they do like this one mixtape track, and then Slain is putting Maroney on. He's putting him on albums. He's on multiple tracks, like killing shit. And Maroney's spazzing. And the thing about that though is Slain's engineer is Louis Bell, who's now the only fucking producer to go double diamond in history. So I'm just hanging out at these studio sessions.
Who's Post Malone's producer?
Yeah, engineer, producer. So the thing about Louis Bell is I had heard, he's a Quincy legend, so like I had heard about him for years before I ever met him. So when I met him, now I'm in the room, it's Slain, Maroney, I'm rapping, we're doing rapping, but at the same time, Louis Bell, I'm like, this dude is the computer genius, you know what I mean? So like, while we're all rapping and shit, but like I'm sitting behind this dude, like watching him melodic vocals, like watching him. You know what I mean? And he was like another person who's like an open book. Like he helped people just naturally. So he's explaining, probably enjoying himself. Like, oh, I got this. Like, look at me flex. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm fucking nasty with it. So like, he was a big inspiration because at that time, he was like a big deal. Like it was like $500 an hour to record with him, and everyone was like, this kid's a fucking genius, blah blah. But now knowing that, like, I spent a few months like just like around him, and he's breaking records of Michael Jackson. So he's billions of plays, the most streamed Spotify song in history, like he's helped on. So like between him and Knox, I was like, yo, I'm blessed to be in these rooms of like people who are like the illest engineers ever. You know?
But like about how much time do you think you spent with Louis Bell?
Well, like the thing about it was like if there were Slain sessions, like then I don't know, I went out to a couple parties, like probably for like a 6-month period we were like together a lot. But I was also with Slain, like Right Hook was around. Okay. And then Maroney was around too, but Slain was like trying to bring Maroney on tour, and like Maroney was like getting arrested, fighting with his girl. Like I remember there was this video shoot one time. Slain had a song that Louis Bell produced. It's at Tully Banterkane's mansion, and Maroney's supposed to be at this video shoot. You can't get the video shoot, so I'm at this video shoot. There's mad girls. There's a Playboy model in the video. This dude got a whole pool. Like his living room, like turns into an indoor pool. You know what I'm saying? There's like a fucking pool party in the winter. This dude, Terminology was there. So we're getting mad drunk. Like my girl's like, she has like asthma, like didn't have an inhaler. Like Terminology came out the cut and like saved her. He's like, yo, I got the inhaler. Like, so that was going back. So it was like a lot of the times that I was there, it was like Maroney was supposed to be there, but he wasn't there. So I'm in this session just soaking game up. And me and Slain became pretty close too. Like we did like 3 tracks, but they never came out. But it came to a certain point where like I didn't need the feature to like verify our friendship. You know what I mean? Because he would just like drop gems on me. Like I would be like asking him shit like, yo, like how does it feel to be like you literally toured the world, and like he's telling me all these like stories about being on movie sets and just like real life shit. So like that was another like I said, how someone led me into Louis Bell and fucking Slain, and like at that time Slain was like in the movie Gone Baby Gone and shit, which was like people we would be out and people be like, oh, you the motherfucker from the town, like da da da.
Yeah.
So like I would see that, but the thing about Slain is like he wouldn't want to like if people come up to him, he wouldn't want to talk like rap shit while he's chilling. He's like, yo, that's not the vibes. But then if he starts talking rap shit with you, then that's when it's cool to like pick his brain type shit. You know what I'm saying? But he would come to my house sometimes and record. Like this dude was paying him for features in Canada and shit. Like he would just come lay the vocals and we would send him the shit. So I'd watch him just sit there and write verses. He's fucking nice with it.
No shit.
And he also too like another thing. I didn't get like you know how like who was it? It was like Ben Affleck like found him in the news. Didn't Ferrone write that shit? Yeah. So like that's crazy actually. So like
what was it? What are we talking about?
So Slain was in Gone Baby Gone because Chris Ferrone wrote an article about him, and Ben Affleck was like, "Yo, I need that dude."
Okay, really.
So, but that's kind of how like Slain. He was already like I had heard of him. He was like still doing his shit in Boston, but that kind of gave him the movie. Then he did The Town after that.
Yeah.
So now he does mad movies and shit. But also like he kind of inspired me a little bit too. I was like, damn, I gotta fucking get some extra.
I bet you've been in some movies.
Yeah. I haven't had like he had like a full role.
He had a full role.
But I was in 2 movies, and the first one I was in was fucking The Instigators. The working title for the movie was Quincy. I manifested the shit out of this. There was a movie called, it wasn't called The Instigators yet, it was called Quincy.
Instigators is
the movie I'm in, on Apple TV.
Oh, it's who's in that movie though?
Matt Damon, Casey Affleck, Jack Harlow.
All right, yeah. Okay, Big Sugar's in that movie.
Ron Perlman's in it.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Isn't Post Malone in that movie too?
Wait, you said Sugar's in it. No, Post Malone's not in it. Jack Harlow's in it.
Okay.
I know there's like another mass movie with that, but the thing about that was that was the first movie. I had been trying to get in movies for like years before that. I never got picked. And then like the movie I get picked for is like Apple TV, like the biggest shit. But I feel like I manifested it because I was like, oh, I had a Facebook status like, oh, they're making a movie about Quincy. I got to be in that shit. And it was like, I was kind of like hard, like joking, but I was like, yo, like how you making a movie called Quincy? What the fuck is this about? So then they changed it to Instigators, but at the same time, a lot of the movie, I don't know if either you've seen it, like a lot of it's filmed in like Wallaston Beach, like Quincy Center and shit. Yeah. They blow up the bar like across from Burger King in Quincy Center, like Lackeys or some shit. Yeah. They can go to that bar, but in the movie they blow that shit up. And I don't know, that was a crazy scene. Like I had never seen so many big cameras, and it was like, all right, so I'm just the extra.
That's what she said.
But I kept being in like the right place at the right time, I feel like. So it was like they herded us all into City Hall, and it was like 15 of us go in the line, and it's like I go to the back of the line just like being nice, and then the dude who's like, I don't know, like one of the co-directing dudes, he's like, nah, you in the front. So like I literally go to the back of 15 people, and he's like, no, you in the front. And then it's like me and 2 like girls were like running out of City Hall, were covered in petroleum to like make us look wet, and then they like CGI'd the water. I don't know, it's crazy shit. But
why not just make you wet?
I don't know, like maybe health like wise, like they don't. I don't know. It was like just some.
So petroleum is better than just water.
I don't even know what the fuck it was. It was some weird.
That's some Diddy shit.
It seems like a lot to just. Yeah,
like, we got extra money for it though, but like I said, like
that's what Diddy does.
Right. Yeah.
So check it though with running. So literally, it's just like acting, like making movies crazy. We literally do the same shit like 100 times. So it's like me and this girl. It's like you go. So the other 14 people, like there was never a point where they got to run. It was like just us cut back, like us 3 just running mad times. And then at this point, like we do that shit. Now we're sitting around. It's like 4 in the morning.
And you're covered in Vaseline the whole time.
Well, it kind of like it didn't last that long. You know what I'm saying? So then at like 4 in the morning, we're still there. It's like me. I'm talking with like a couple girls, and like, oh, I want to go home. I'm like, what do you mean you want to go home? Like you're getting paid right now to do nothing. Like we're getting paid double time to do nothing, and we're about to be in a movie. Like, how are you complaining? Whatever.
And you're getting hit on by me. You know?
And you're talking to the Hush Harding. Come on, bro.
Right.
Hush.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway,
Dr. Huxtable.
Huxtable.
That's the best.
Yeah. Hush V. Bogart. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so like we were complaining, so it's like 5 in the morning, everyone's about to leave, and then like another like co-director comes in and was like, just points to me and some other person, like, you two stay. So then they have us go up the stairs to City Hall, and this is a scene like, so I'm in the scene like coming down the stairs while Matt Damon's like walking right by me. I don't even know if I made the movie, but like I'm literally right next to Matt Damon, and like no one else has like got to see him at this point. This crazy story though is like I'm running down the stairs. I don't know what the hell. Like picture 2 of these together, right? Like they had the camera on like a limbo stick, and I'm like fucking coming down the stairs, and like I have to like run by this limbo. I'm like, you about to fucking clothesline me with it? Like, why are you holding the camera on a limbo stick? Like, what is going on right now? It's like
It's gonna be some wide shot or something.
they had some crazy ass cameras and shit. Like I'd be like looking at that shit in amazement. Like they did the scene that I'm actually in the movie is like we're outside and they're robbing City Hall and they drop a safe onto a truck and the truck is like smashed. So we're behind a police barricade and it's like they give a close up. This girl starts running, then everyone starts running. They start playing House of Pain, I think, and like they have all this CGI money coming down, and we're all just grabbing mad money. So like that was lit.
So wait, so you're
I get a close
At
up
4 in the morning?
It was like 3 in the morning.
so they have you pretending you're grabbing money and they
No, we were
CGI.
grabbing real money. Like they had mad fake money in the safe, but then like in the sky, like CGI money's raining everywhere. But I only had like a few like close like little spots, but it's like one of the parts like Ron Perlman, he says something and like the reaction of it, like it literally zooms on just to me going like, you know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, I got my close-ups, like I felt happy. And then I got into the other movie I got into, Good Burger 2, and I learned a little bit. Like after that first movie, I was schooling people, so I was like, I learned 2 things. So one, I made an IMDb profile and gave myself credit on that movie. So when I got in that movie, they have this thing called like the star meter on IMDb. So like when I went to Good Burger 2, since I was in this movie with Matt Damon, my star meter went up 1,000,000 points. And there was one point where it was like Good Burger 2 and it was like starring Keenan Carroll and Sean Harding because like my shit was so high. And like I went to the set and people were like, yo, I seen you on IMDb and shit. And I'm like, you guys, then people are like, oh, I've done 6 movies. I need to put my shit. Like I'm like, nah, that's how you do it. And then also I noticed there's so many people on the movie set that they're all doing like different shit. So like you can kind of mix it like basically get like we're in Good Burger 2 and they call like this whole table over. I'm like not at that table. I'm like I'm going with that table. So now I just go there and then like I kind of like being an extra. You're not supposed to like overact shit, but I'm also trying to be in the position that looks like I'm trying to get screen time. And I remember like I'm out there and this dude comes up to me. I thought he was gonna like bitch at me for like being like up in the front too much. And he's like, yo, I got something extra for you or whatever. He's like, pick 2 people. So I'm just picking like the 2 people I was talking to. And we got to be in an extra scene in the movie at the end. It was literally just from like not being like some people like how I told you like, oh, I don't want to be here like moping around. It was like I was just standing like, yo, I'm ready. Like heads up, like what are we doing? You know what I mean? So doing that type of attitude, it's just like it can be tiring. Like you're sitting on set doing the same shit for like 15 hours, but it's like you're getting money. Like what are you like? And you're also gonna be in the movie. So, but I'm like, so that shit like I want to be like a real like. Get a scene where I'm like really speaking and acting because I feel like I have like doing music and shit. It's like you control you tap into emotions and shit. So I feel like I could be a good actor because it's like a performing and doing songs is like practicing what acting is in a way, like projecting a certain feeling.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I was just trying to come up with an acting name for you. So I'm like, you know, because we got nothing yet. You don't have your acting name yet?
I know I gotta think of one now. Damn.
Yeah, you're always ahead of the 8
I know. How
ball.
the fuck do you not have like 5 of these?
I mean Nipsey Hussle.
That's not an actor.
Dr. Theodore Huxtable is an actor, isn't he?
It's like once again you're gonna stop wanting to go to that one. Not.
No, I'm not saying he was an actor. I'm
No,
thinking
you're
some
right.
new ones. By tomorrow, I'm have 10 more new
It's
ones.
like Adolf Hushler. You know what I mean? You don't want
Oh,
to-
God.
Yeah, you don't like-
Nah, see, but the thing is, it has to at least rhyme with the U sound.
Sure it does.
Oh, shit.
So fucking all right. So you still but besides your acting, hip hop, you are making music. Like what are we getting into now? Like what are people expecting from you these days?
So right now, like I've been making, I make a lot of different shit, like making singles, but I have been making. There's 2 reasons why. So I'm making an EP. It's like it's not necessarily like girly songs, but it's like more aimed towards females and shit, but it's still mad wordplay and punchline. So I did it last year. It was Heartbreak Hush. I dropped in February. The reason why I wanted to do this was there's two different, like, you know how like Lil Wayne has Carter 1 2 3 4 5 6, like Willie's has Blanco 1 2 3 4 5 6. I'm like, oh, I gotta make like series of albums because then it's like people get hyped up for the different releases. So like I started doing that, and then Uncle Murder, you know how he drops the wrap up every New Year's. He's like, oh, I'm part of the holidays like Mariah. So I'm like, shit, I want to be part of the holidays, and shit, I need to drop series. So I'm dropping Heartbreak Hush 2, which is a little more upbeat than the last one, more like rapping and shit, but it's still like aimed towards like songs, like heartbreak songs and like dance songs and shit like that. But at the same time, I've just been dropping bars like on videos consistently, doing hard shit, and I kind of go back and forth. Sometimes it's like, I'm like, if I feel like I'm doing too much of one, I'm like, oh, I got to do the other. You know what I'm saying? Just to like balance it out. But I'm also like in a weird place where it's like, I'm not so focused on making projects where, like we were talking about it earlier, it's like I might make a video and then I clip that video into 10 different videos and then those videos are going. So it's like rap is in a weird game where I'm like, you're not necessarily chasing like the hit album or the hit song, but it's like, I'm trying to make all these clips hit, just go up on the internet, and like, because it's like you're getting paid off the views in the internet. So like, not that you should do shit, like not that you shouldn't make it, like don't aim for views and just do stupid shit to go viral. But I'm like, all right, if I can make my art the way that I want, and then just package it so it has a chance, that's how I'll be doing it. Because a lot of rappers can make dope songs, but they don't know enough about how the internet works to even give it a chance, like, and they'll be thinking this card like, oh, my shit got no views. But like, yeah, but you uploaded it with the wrong name and no tags at phone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you gotta play the game to win it, and it is annoying, but it's like once you start figuring it out, and you're like, damn, this actually really can happen. Like you see these people online, like millionaires, like streamers, like Aiden Ross and shit. And it's like, yo, they just went for it. Like it was like,
well, okay, so like one of your last videos is like you at the aquarium.
oh yeah,
Right. All right. So like, have you been to the aquarium?
Yeah.
So you know the big tank in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay. So like, have you seen the video I'm talking about?
No.
Okay. So it's just Hashi's rap, but he's in the aquarium, and it's just like when I see you doing that, I'm like, first of all, he's making the most out of a trip to the aquarium, right?
Yeah.
But secondly, I'm like you don't give a fuck that you're doing that at the aquarium, like.
I learned that like there is a certain point, like I don't like to be obnoxious if I'm like making a scene, so I'm like, all right, let me like do this right. But I have been like, there is a point where like I've filmed enough people and I've done enough videos where I'm like, all right, if it's like, if you got to get this fucking shot and you got to look like a fucking boss, like even in that video I didn't fully. There's moments of it where I'm not like fully in it, like,
but you're doing it, so like you're doing the rap thing. Like,
but there is other videos where like you put me in a public spot if I gotta fucking do it this way.
But specifically, I want to talk about the aquarium though, because that was interesting to me. I'm like, because I know the space that you're in. I know the people that are walking around. I'm like, is he really? It takes a lot of guts, balls, like nerve, just to do shit like that in that space. Like, so is someone holding the camera, tripod? Are you?
Yeah, someone's holding the camera. Granted though, like,
you using this guy, right?
Yeah. Okay. Once I get started, like I'm like, all right, like,
you gotta go.
Yeah.
And what does the whole thing take? Like that whole thing? Are you doing like 5 real quick and just getting done with it?
No, I'm doing the songs, but then so like, like that one was a little bit rushed. Like if I had a little bit more time, it would have been iller. But I always wanted a fucking aquarium video, and I figured out a few years ago how, like, I don't know if you noticed, like when I'm in the park downstairs, I make it look like I'm underwater.
Yeah.
So I figured out that effect like years ago on a different video, and I was like, nah, this shit is too ill. Like I gotta save that for the right video. So like that aquarium one, I was like, oh, I finally got the aquarium video. I might as well bust out these effects. I got like the 3D sharks swimming by and the squids and shit. And
I gotta watch this.
My first
sounds amazing.
I wanted to do like I still want to do it. It's
sleeping.
like I want to be in a hotel with girls and make the whole shit look like it's submerged underwater. But like that was like let me do this until I get that.
Yeah, it's just like he's like I was like, wow, he's actually going for it, doing. I was surprised and impressed that you like actually like didn't give a fuck because you're doing Like he's
I'm
rapping.
going.
He's rapping, and but he's in front of like one of the windows of the aquarium, like a turtle swimming by and shit.
Yeah,
it's like
that footage looks crazy.
It's a good spot to do it, and I can't lie. It is like a good. I'm like, okay, like he actually utilized that space. I'll take
like National Geographic.
No, I have pictures of like of being at the aquarium, waiting for a turtle to swim by and taking the picture in that exact window. So I get what I know exactly where you were.
Song for that project, so it was like last year I was like, oh, I got to do this Heartbreak Hush shit, and then I was like stressing for a second when it turned to January, and I'm like, damn, I don't have enough songs, and then I just like pumped out. I'm like 5. I'm like, all right, actually I'm good now. I got time. So it's like not even halfway through January. I'm like, all right, I want to get like some artwork and visualizers done, and like clip up like teasers and shit, because I'm kind of still, like I said, experimenting with like how to roll out music nowadays, like on the internet.
Well, I want to ask you now because we're going for about an hour and a half. So when you know the deal, I know you have a lot of stuff going on right now.
Yeah.
Let's give like 5 minutes about what's going on right now with like your streaming, you're making the music online, like all that. Just you know how to get you know how to get out of here.
Yeah.
Give yourself a minute, show everybody like where they can find you, all that shit, like how you doing your online streaming, how you doing like your Facebook, all that stuff.
All right, so hushharding.com, Hushharding on Instagram. Oh, right there. Hushharding.com, Hushharding on Instagram, everything. I got the merch up there. I've been live streaming, making songs live on YouTube and Twitch. Hushharding on there.
How's that been going?
It's actually like I started doing it and then I fell off for a little and I just got back into it, and I feel like, to be honest, I haven't got like as many views, but the results that I got from what I got, I was like, oh, this might be something, because it was like,
you gotta work it a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that's the wave too. Like I feel like that's what I want to do a lot more.
Doing live, having some like people come through and doing the verses would be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Doing
No, I'm really trying to get
into
like now that I have my space looking like how it should a little bit.
Especially like even platforming it off like this and like fucking like
even this. We've been doing a lot of podcast shit. Like we've been heavy on the grind on this. I've been making. I always, like I said, I'll just make music like as a habit anyway. So whatever else I got going on, I'm still gonna be making music. I've been doing photography, like freshly filming other people's videos, doing like a lot of recap shit. So yeah, holla at me if you need, any services, music, audio, visual. I'm here to help. Otherwise, if you want to see a master at work, tune into the live streams. Or if you want to just chop it up, tune into the Big Dookie Chain. Boom.
Fucking understand and everything, right, man?
Right, man, and the modesty too.
Van, anything else you want to fucking ask us before we go?
I'm gonna come up with so much more, and then the viewership is not gonna get as I'm gonna get when I get the answers to the questions that I'm not gonna ask right now, but I'm gonna ask later.
Oh yeah.
You get all that?
I got it. What do you want to tell them?
Like, subscribe.
That's it.
Band Styles.
Yep. Hit the bell, all that shit. Sense lives. Money forever. Fuck her chilling.